Welcome back everyone. Let's go ahead and do a full comparison between the newly released Samsung Galaxy S21 and the somewhat newer Google Pixel 5. Wow, I almost called this the Samsung Pixel 5. Now first of all, I will tell you the Google Pixel 5 is still a little bit cheaper than the Galaxy S21, even though Samsung did decrease the price of the S21, and you can pick up these things in the used market for a little bit cheaper. But if you give it a couple months, the Galaxy S21 is also going to go down in price, so choice is yours. But I will find the cheapest ones of both of these, link them down in the description below. You can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now, first of all, side by side, you kind of see that the Galaxy S21 just a little bit, I guess, longer than the Pixel 5. However, when you feel both in the hand, you don't really feel like one is way bigger or way smaller than the other one. But I do think that the Google Pixel 5 is just a little bit of a smaller device at the end of the day. On the front of the Google Pixel 5, you do have that 6-inch OLED display. It's a 1080p panel, which isn't that bad, and it's actually a 90 hertz panel, which is actually pretty good. I was surprised that Google decided to go with this route by decreasing the price, decreasing the resolution from the previous model, but I think I'm okay with it. The whole plus display is a really nice add-on, and I think overall it's actually a really good panel, for the price tag and for everything. And I think even though it did decrease the resolution from the previous generation, at least it added that hole punch display. I really do like it at the end of the day, and for sure the Pixel 5's panel isn't that bad, and I actually think the way it looks, the way the whole entire phone looks, I think it looks a little bit better than the Samsung Galaxy S21, just from the sheer, aesthetic standpoint. But I feel like the Galaxy S21 has a better panel. With that center hole punch display, you have that 6.2-inch panel, so a little bit bigger. It has the 1080p display as well, pretty similar to the Pixel 5. But the crazy thing is, you have that 120 hertz panel on the Samsung Galaxy S21. You also have a fingerprint sensor in the display as well. With the Pixel 5, you have the fingerprint sensor, on the back. But the Galaxy S21, with it having the 120 hertz refresh rate, it makes it a little bit better than the Pixel 5. And I do feel like the panel looks better on the Samsung Galaxy S21, but aesthetically, the Pixel 5 looks better. I don't know why. I think, like I said, the center whole bunch display, this phone just looks a little off. I like stock Android on the Pixel 5, so that's probably, what I like about it. But in terms of the front, the display goes for this phone, the aesthetic goes for this phone, whatever that means. On the bottom, USB Type-C ports on both. In terms of the thinness and thickness, they both kind of feel like the same thing as stated before. I really don't think there's like that big of a difference in terms of the thinness and thickness. However, on the back, there's a little bit of a difference. So the Pixel 5 apparently has like a little aluminum back. It doesn't really feel like it. It feels like more like cardboard. And this was one of the weirdest things I hated about the Pixel 5 was the back of this phone. The Samsung Galaxy S21 also has something I hate about it, so everyone can have something they hate about both phones. The plastic back on this phone, I'm just not feeling it. It's not the vibe that I felt for, I don't know why Samsung did it. I don't think one feels way better than the other one here, though. I'll be honest, I don't have a preference. Apparently this one's aluminum, so this one will probably get, the W there, but I'm not too sure. But I will tell you that the chassis of the phone of the Galaxy S21 does feel better than the Pixel 5, so that's another thing to keep in mind. Now you do have a dual camera setup on the Pixel 5, fingerprint sensor right here. Samsung Galaxy S21, triple camera setup right there. In terms of the outside, that really pretty much covers it up for the most part. You have wireless charging on both, reverse wireless charging on the S21, but reverse charging on the Pixel 5. So kind of some flip-flops, but in terms of the outside, that pretty much covers it up. However, I will tell you there is a massive difference between these two, and I think honestly the main reason, actually there's some other reasons too, but a humongous reason why I would go from a Samsung Galaxy S21 or really any Samsung Galaxy S21 including the Plus and the Ultra to the Pixel 5, this is probably the main reason, is the software. I'm just not a fan of One UI 3. I'm not a fan of any Samsung software ever. I don't know. I just feel like they have some ways to go. They need to make it a little bit more stock. I feel like they're trying to blend like LG's UI and their own Samsung experience combined into this one. I feel like One UI 3 has actually been a little bit of an improvement. It's a little bit less in your face, but it's still there, and that's not something I'm looking forward to. Or when you look at the Pixel 5, and this phone is going to give you a smooth experience. It's not full of bloat. It's stock version of Android. Software updates on this thing are going to be much more than what you're getting on the Galaxy S21. The custom ROM capability behind this device is also going to be top notch. That's going to be another humongous feature, and you're going to be getting more updates more frequently on this device than on the Galaxy S21. I mean, since I've owned this device for like a couple of months, I've already gotten like a couple of monthly updates, which is really, really cool. The S21 also has that capability. I've been getting updates on my S20, but I feel like the Pixel updates are more polished, and that's something I've just always loved it for sure. And once Android 12 and Android 13 comes out, this is going to be first in line. The Samsung Galaxy S21 is going to be a little bit, behind when it comes down to that. This thing is Android 11. Android 12 is going to be coming out probably in a beta in the next couple of months, and this one's going to get it before this one gets it by a long shot. So in terms of software, that's a pretty big thing to keep in mind. I will tell you though, in terms of the battery life, I kind of get the sense that the Galaxy S21 is going to get you the better battery life here. It does have a bigger battery size. So that's kind of like an important thing to keep in mind. But again, I would rather probably have, maybe like better software experience, like a much better software experience, and maybe a little bit less battery life rather than having the Samsung, One UI, but then, having better battery life. I'm not really too sure which one, but I'd probably honestly pick up the Pixel 5 just because of the software in and of itself. So in terms of that, that pretty much covers it up. Now I'll go ahead and do a little bit of a speed comparison between both these phones. Now starting off with the specs, the Pixel 5 had that Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G chipset with 8GB of RAM, where the Samsung Galaxy S21 has that Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 chipset with 8GB of RAM, so the same amount of RAM on both. But let's go ahead and see which one is the faster one between both of these. Okay, let me make sure all the apps are cleared out in the background, so let me go ahead and clear these out. Let me go ahead and clear these ones out as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's do phone calls, 3, 2, 1. I think the Samsung Galaxy S21 was the faster one. Messages, 3, 2, 1. And again, I think the Galaxy S21 was way faster there. Camera, 3, 2, 1. I actually think the S21 was faster, but the Pixel 5 was still pretty fast there too. App Stores, 3, 2, 1. S21, I think, was the faster one. Pixel 5, a little bit behind. And I don't know, this is probably going to be a bigger difference than I thought. At first, I didn't think the Galaxy S21 was going to be this much faster, but maybe it is, and hopefully rightfully so. This one has a newer chipset and everything, so hopefully that's the case. As always, I have a bunch of these third-party apps. Let's go and do Snapchat, 3, 2, 1. Now, I think I'm already logged in here, so we'll just kind of let that one slide. But the Pixel 5 opened that one up pretty fast, to be completely honest. Let's go and do Dune, 3, 2, 1. And this is not a graphically intensive game, but it does take a minute to load. And I think the S21 was just a little bit faster there, but it was still pretty fast on both. Let's go and do Snake versus Blocks, 3, 2, 1. And I think the S21 is faster, but it could be just the delay in when I tap the screens as well, so keep that in mind. In terms of the gameplay, they kind of have the same thing going on here, so not a ginormous difference at this point either. Let's do Stack, 3, 2, 1. And the Pixel 5 actually got into the ad faster. Maybe the S21 was still the faster one though, but that was actually pretty interesting that that one was a little bit faster. Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. And it looks like the S21 was pretty fast there. The Pixel 5 a little bit behind, and this is a pretty noticeable difference. I don't want this whole entire comparison to just be based off this little comparison right here, but that was a pretty big difference in and of itself. I will say though, gameplay has been looking to be about the same. The Pixel 5, I reviewed it already and all that stuff. I didn't have any complaints with the specific gameplay or anything like that. It was still a really fast phone. The Galaxy S21 seemed to be a little bit faster there. Let's go and do Fruit Ninja, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. And the Galaxy S21 seems to be a little bit faster here. Pixel 5, a little bit behind. We are in 2 separate updates though, so maybe the delayness on the Pixel 5 was due to because of the specific, software version difference, so keep that in mind. Let's get into the next app, which is Quizlet, 3, 2, 1. Galaxy S21 again is the faster one. Bofa, 3, 2, 1. S21 is faster. Pixel 5 a little bit behind. I forgot what phone this was. Twitter, 3, 2, 1. S21 faster. Pixel 5 a little bit behind. And I do not have Paper IO 3D. Oh, I do. 3, 2, 1. Let's go and see which one is the faster one. I'm glad. This is the first time I've reviewed or compared them both. And surprisingly, actually this one was way faster. As you guys saw, this one was in the loading screen. So let's just go ahead and play this game to see which one is the faster one. And I already died here. Let's go and try it out again. And I'll just go ahead and say the Galaxy S21 I think is probably the faster one when it comes down to it. But I will tell you, the Pixel 5, for it being cheaper and for it not even having the same chipset as this device, it actually ended up doing pretty good in and of itself. So take it as you will, but that pretty much covers up the speed comparison. Now let's go and hit on the cameras. Now on the back, we do have a little bit of a different camera setup. The Pixel 5 has a dual camera setup, a wide angle lens and an ultra wide sensor, where the Galaxy S21 does have a triple camera setup, wide, ultra wide, and telephoto lens. Now, in terms of the UIs on both, you can kind of see that we do have a little bit of difference. So the specific things are right here, photo and video. These ones are at the bottom. Take the photos in the center, pretty much all that good stuff. But I will tell you, from what I've seen throughout my life, Galaxies always have more features built into the camera. You can do 4K at 60 on the back of both of these, but the Galaxy S21 can do 8K. Also, the Pixel 5 can only do 1080p on the front. The Galaxy S21 can do 4K at 60 on the front as well. So another pretty big difference. Now, in terms of the camera quality on the Pixel 5, I actually thought it was a pretty good camera quality. I was pretty surprised about the specific camera quality that this thing had, and it kind of just sounds like I'm making stuff up. And honestly, when you compare so many devices, when you compare, like I compare this camera to so many other phones, and you always have to look out for those little tiny things. And the Pixel 5, I think, it does a really good job at those little tiny things, that kind of smoothing out the edges of certain things. And I will tell you, Google does a really good job on their software. Their hardware may be a little bit weird sometimes, but their software, especially optimized for the camera, does a really, really good job. And I will tell you, the software optimizations are better than Samsung's, but the features are better on Samsung. So when you look at this device, I mean, the fact that it has that ultra-wide sensor and that telephoto lens, those are some really good assets. Also, that 8K capability is another humongous thing about the Samsung Galaxy S21. You have more features built into this camera, as I stated before. So at the end of the day, I'll probably tell you the Samsung Galaxy S21 has a better camera, as well as that 4K at 60 on the front. Who can forget that? But I'll probably say the Pixel 5 is like at least like an 8 out of 10 in terms of the camera. Really, the front camera of the Pixel 5 is my main problem, but other than that, the Samsung Galaxy S21 is probably the winner. So now we've come to the end of the video, and what I can tell you is that at the end of the day, between both these phones, there really isn't the perfect phone, because on one hand, the hardware of the Samsung Galaxy S21 is pretty okay. I mean, it's a downgrade from the Galaxy S20 in a lot of areas, but you're still getting a higher, refresh rate on this specific panel. You're getting the fingerprint sensor in the display. You're getting reverse wireless charging on this phone. So it's still kind of more like a flagship type of device than the Pixel 5. But I'll tell you, this Google Pixel 5, after comparing them, I've used both of them, I own both of them, they're in my hands right now. The Pixel 5 has a lot of character behind this device for 100% of effect. This one isn't automatically the better phone. I think if I had to use one of these as a main device, the number one reason why I would go from a Galaxy S21 to a Pixel 5, maybe even more so than the price, would mostly be because of the software. The software on Pixels are just, it's perfect. Like, it's like the best software out there, and I just kiss my hands like that. When you have a device like this, even if you're like 2 versions of software behind, like if Android 13 comes out and like this thing's still on Android 11, you're not even going to feel like you're super outdated, because it's still very smooth. It's still very capable. It doesn't feel like this thing is just having to, keep up with the software, and that's something that Samsungs have to do. I have a Galaxy S8 right now, right? And I have a Galaxy S9, and those things aren't as smooth as something like my Pixel 2 or my Pixel 2 XL. And those are massive things to keep in mind. At the end of the day, the Samsung Galaxy S21 is probably one of the best phones you can pick up in this day and age right now. But 2 to 3 years from now, this thing's going to be outdated, where this thing may even be outdated too, but it's going to have custom ROM support. It's going to have a lot of capability in that sense. So that is a humongous thing to keep in mind. I don't think there's like a perfect phone between either one of these. I don't think you should go from the Pixel 5 to the S21 just because of whatever reason. But I'll probably tell you at the end of the day, I would rather have a Pixel 5 right now than a Samsung Galaxy S21, just because of the software. However, if you're somebody who needs to take a lot of videos on their front camera, if you're somebody who needs a fingerprint sensor in the display, reverse wireless charging, and you maybe want better battery life and you're okay with the software on the S21, then this is like a golden phone. This is like the perfect phone for you. But because I kind of like to have better software and some more customizability, and I'm okay with sacrificing some of that front camera. I know it kind of hurts because I use that front camera a lot. I would probably be okay with the Pixel 5, and I'd probably pick up this phone, and it's cheaper too. That's another like plus in that point. But that really is pretty much how I'd see it in this specific case. So like I said, if you want to pick up either one of these, links will be down in the description, but that really pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section as well. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly, everything else. I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.